CJ Flyer back with the Fire another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about why the WNBA MyCareer mode in NBA 2K24 is leagues above the NBA's standard MyCareer mode. And no, I'm not just saying that to be a contrarian, and yes, I realize that the NBA MyCareer mode is fully fleshed out with the park mode, with the story, some things that the WNBA mode just doesn't have. But in this case, less really is more, and I'm going to explain why. This is solely comparing the offline MyCareer mode. I'm not talking about anything online. As far as park is concerned, yes, the NBA park mode is much better than the WNBA park mode, which is just limited to an online 3v3. I'm not going to go into detail about that. We're talking strictly a NBA career simulation experience, playing through a player's career from the start of their rookie season all the way to as long as you want to play it out. We're talking about that. We're not talking about anything else here, just strictly the offline mode. Now, before I can go into the reasons why the WNBA mode is better, I just want to take a journey with you all and walk through the start of an NBA MyCareer mode. So from the main menu, you go ahead, you want to start your MyCareer in NBA 2K24, and you select the mode, and right off the bat, you're thrown right into this player creation screen where you can either choose to scan your face or choose from some preset faces that you want to use for your player. You can go ahead and make changes to the eyes, nose, mouth, hair. Nothing new. It's been in the game for the past few seasons. Just a little bit added customization, perhaps some more hairstyles, some more, different changes that you can tweak to your eyes. But all in all, it's a similar experience as previous years. You go ahead and right off the bat, you're creating your player. For this demonstration, I gave my guy a Santa Claus beard. It looks pretty fake. It looks like it's glued to his face for some reason, not really sure why. And then from there, you can go ahead and select the name of your player. Again, I just went through 2K's library and I looked for the longest, most ridiculous name possible. So our player is called Tony Christopher Ankle Bracelet. After setting the physical attributes here, of course, the part of MyCareer that everyone talks about, you see hundreds of videos about this on YouTube, on social media, it's creating your build, aka your skill set, your height, your weight, and your wingspan and your position. So we go in, you can either choose a template from another NBA player, or you can go ahead and create your own quote-unquote build. So we've gone ahead here and just for the sake of doing it, created our own custom build. Now I wasted a ton of time in here, a lot of customization, and it makes sense as to why so many people make so many of these build videos. Perhaps I am missing out on the hype train of views. You can see as you start to play around with the positions, you can set different heights, different wingspan, different weights. There's different ranges for each of those biometrics, and that results in different abilities that you can unlock down the road in your career, different ranges of attributes, different ranges of badges and skills that your player can acquire in the future as you level up. Now, I had assumed when I was going through and creating this build that the numbers you see on this first screen here are your max potential for all of the attributes, no matter what. But as soon as you go ahead and click to continue to the next screen, you're taken to another skills screen here with the attributes. And from there, all it does in that previous screen is to set max limits, for which you can then go forward and set max limits within the max limits, if that makes any sense. So you're kind of deceived from the beginning, whereas you can think you can max out those attributes as they're shown on that first screen, but then you go to the next screen and actually you have to fill out whatever potential points that you have, and that's the max. So unfortunately, I wanted a player that had the potential for a good three-point shot, a really good passing skills, and then have a relatively high speed. And instead, what I'm able to do is do middle of the road speed, slightly high passing ability, and maxing out that three-point shot as much as I can. And it's just disappointing because, they set this mode up for you to be the greatest of all time, potentially. But can I really be the greatest of all time? I'm a 6'3" point guard with 200 pounds. Stephen Curry is like the model 6'3", 200-pound player here. And he should have, roughly 99 speed, 99 3-point, and 99 pass at his maximum ability. as the greatest shooter, one of the greatest point guards of all time. And you can't even do that in this game. I mean, you can't set the max attributes to a 99.3, 99 speed, 99 passing. And why is that? That is because this career mode is also locked into the online park mode. So even though it does not make sense for you to set up your career, your player, if you're going to set them up as being the greatest of all time, but you can't max out those 3 attributes as a point guard, then, I mean, what's going on here? What are we doing? Like, logically, doesn't make any sense from that standpoint. Does that mean your player's going to suck when you reach those max attributes? Obviously not. You know, even with middle of the road speed, slightly higher passing, and a great 3-point shot, yeah, I mean, your player has a chance to be really, really good. But realistically, in real life, you know, you should be able to, if you're gonna be one of the greatest or the greatest of all time, working your way up this quote unquote GOAT tier list that you'll see in a minute, yeah, you should be able to have one of the best 3-point ratings, pass ratings, and speed ratings. Otherwise, how do you even become the greatest point guard of all time, let alone the greatest player of all time? I mean, come on, let's be real here. So I found that a little bit ridiculous. So once you finish creating your max skills within the max skills that you set on the previous screen, you'll be taken into the team selection menu, and from there you can just choose whichever team is going to draft you, whichever team you're going to sign with, and you can also test out your player build with any of those teams. You get thrown into the lineup and you can go into a scrimmage game, and you can choose to set your player as the base, as what you're going to start at as a 65 overall, or you can set it to what you would play like as a 99 overall, assuming all the attributes and all the badges, I'm assuming all the badges are maxed out, and you get thrown right in, and this is what you could work up to. This is what your player would play like if they have reached the 99 overall potential. And so I like that aspect, because then you can say, okay, I don't like the way this player plays. You can go back, you can go ahead and change the attributes. The only thing that's a little bit troubling with it is you can't really choose animations, and jump shot animations, passing animations, dribbling animations. I mean, that's huge for determining if your player is the type of player that you want to have or not. So that I find a little bit strange. However, it does let you see just a little bit of a glimpse of, hey, this is the ability you're going to have, you know, potentially if you work your way up to a 99 overall. So that is fine. That is cool. As soon as you finish with that and you select your team, you get thrown right into what looks like a commercial. This is where I start to lose it. Okay, again, this is a career simulation mode. This is supposed to be, you know, going through creating your fictional player. You sometimes, you know, some people pretend it's themselves in an alternate timeline, or you're just creating some random fictional character to play through an NBA career. And what do we get? As soon as we enter the mode, as soon as we are done creating the player that we are going to play with, you get thrown into this like promo commercial type of montage of the park, and you see a player levitating, you see like Atlantis, you see shops. It almost looks like a video for the Grand Theft Auto video game. Like it doesn't even look like anything remotely close to a promo for an NBA career. And then they show the Kobe Bryant statue and the Kobe Bryant building, and then that's where you start. They throw your player right into this park map. I feel like I've just walked into an MMORPG. I don't feel like I'm playing a basketball simulation game at this point, and I certainly don't feel like I'm in the shoes of an NBA player, because we're in this weird, goofy, fictional city with other people's players running around, again with all these like call tags and cards along the bottom of their player showing their different stats. Again, it looks like an MMORPG, and it doesn't really feel or look like I'm in an NBA simulation per se. And I don't mind the MMORPG aspect if it felt like I was like actually living the life of an NBA player, but we're not. We're just in this goofy little city, and right next to the Kobe Bryant building. So we go ahead, I walk in there, see what all the hype was about from before the game came out, and it's honestly one of the biggest disappointments ever. I've already made a video talking about my disappointments with the Mamba moments, and this building just kind of builds on that. So you walk in, you got a Kobe jersey on either side. One's the number 8 jersey, one's the number 24 jersey. They have the challenges on the wall that they have in the game for the games for whichever jersey he was wearing. So of course, since there's only 7 challenges, there's 4 on one side, 3 on the other. It looks a bit lopsided, and there's not really anything else going on in the building. That's it. It just has the 2 jerseys just chilling there. It's got the challenges written on the wall. That's it. And that's the building. So I don't know why that was a marketing point for them selling this game, other than to get people to lean in and buy because Kobe's in the game. I think it's disgusting. Nonetheless, that's not what this video is really about. So moving on, right when you get launched in, you got the Kobe Bryant building over there to your right. It looks like an MMORPG. They throw quests in front of you on the screen. There's some quests you can complete. It does ask if you want to start with the career mode or the park mode. And even if you select the career mode, you're still just chilling there in the park. They're still throwing these quests in your face. Look, I clicked on MyCareer because I want to play MyCareer. And this is why I truly believe, I wish, like, these modes need to be separate. Because I'm not looking to play this goofy, like, story. No, I don't want any part. We want an NBA career simulation. We don't want all this other stuff that is completely unrelated, is not part of a real life NBA career, and it just doesn't look good. So you do see an arena off into the distance. There is a little tiny icon that says play your next career game or whatever. So you kind of put 2 and 2 together, and you're like, all right, time to walk over to this arena, which is just this generic arena. It's not like any teams in particular. It will have the name of the home team for your next opponent, or if you're the home team for the next game, your team will be on there. And it's just the same generic arena. You can walk up to it. There's a metal detector. You walk through, and eventually you get in, and finally you're getting set in the career mode. After all the crap was thrown in your face, you finally get to it. Now at this point, you're locked into a little cutscene here. You're getting thrown into the story. It looks like your dad was a former NBA player. Your dad's dad was also a former NBA player. They were legends. They're fictional characters. Again, it's not real. I wish there was an option to kind of like turn that on and off, like these goofy fictional storylines of NBA past. We really, the fiction should start from where your career starts in this MyCareer simulation mode. But instead, they've already completely rewritten history. You got these 2 Joe Schmoes that are your father and your grandfather. And of course, in most cases, they don't even look like they're related to your actual player. As you can see on the screen here, I'm really not seeing the similarities, but if y'all can see them, tell me in the comments, because I'm just not picking it up. So then you're given some objectives to, being the greatest of all time. So you're starting out, you want to get a similar opening stat line as Michael Jordan and LeBron James. That's cool. That's fine. I'm cool with that. So now in the outer ring of the arena, there's a locker room, there's a workout room, there's different places to explore. I think that's actually pretty cool. So you get to walk around, you can walk up to a shoe rep, you sign a shoe deal. That's the kind of stuff we like to see as part of an NBA career. Obviously, that's a big part in becoming a star player, is getting your own signature shoe, or just starting out with a shoe deal and working towards the signature shoe later. What's also nice is these shoes are actually all free. So like if you sign with Nike, all of the Nike shoes are then free to put on your player, which I'm so glad they didn't choose to make it cost VC like they have in previous MyCareer modes, in previous 2K games. Walking up to the workout room, you're not really told what it's for. So if you're new to the mode, you have no idea. You just walk in, oh, there's a workout room. Oh, I can do these different exercises. You don't know what you get out of them until after you complete the exercise. Then it tells you, oh, you got some My Points. You got some progression towards unlocking your next overall potential. Oh, and also some of these could count towards progressing your badges. But do they tell you that when you walk in? No, they don't even tell you to walk in there. So just something that has a benefit to you, but they don't even mention it. It's just kind of, if you happen across it by chance, then that's great. Then you get in, you can get your workout, you can do your progression. Obviously, the different activities, they're fun at first, but eventually they get pretty stale. It's nice that it's there. I like that it's there in a basketball career simulation game. But I just wish it was kind of like, you're throwing this terrible park, this Kobe Bryant building and everything in front of our faces, but then a workout room and some other, things that would be important for the career aspect of your fictional basketball player is just kind of, not really brought up. I would say, like, it's not there in the forefront. It's kind of hidden behind all this other flashy, cool stuff that's thrown in front of your face, which, with the park and everything else is where a lot of the money is made. I also went ahead and paused the game, went to the pause menu, hitting the start button, and noticed that there's also different menu options here, because I was like, where can I get different jump shot animations, different dribble animations? It hasn't really been brought up yet. Again, it's just things you have to happen across by chance. So unless you've played 2K in the past, if you're new to the game and you're just looking to play a basketball career simulation, you might not know where this stuff is. And so I came across the animations, and it honestly, just going through to pick out animations to apply to your player, you can see there's different like VC amounts for some of the animations. A lot of the beginner animations are free, but then there's some that are locked until you upgrade your skills, and then there's some that cost like a few hundred to a few thousand VC. And it feels like I'm online shopping at this point, because even when you select the free options, it pulls up this little checkout window per se. It gives you the option to buy VC right then and there if you need to, and then otherwise it's like confirming your purchase. And I don't know, that just, even though it's not really that big of a deal, it just rubs me the wrong way. Again, it feels like I'm online shopping, buying clothes or buying items from Amazon or something. I mean, what are we doing here? It doesn't feel very natural or authentic to the game itself. It just feels, I don't know, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth going through that. And then when I was going through to change my clothes, to change like arm sleeves, shoes, I saw there was an option to change your uniform. As soon as you click on that, everything looks like it's available, but as soon as you click on it, it comes up with a pop-up saying, hey, you need to complete this side quest in order to unlock this feature. And again, like, it's just okay. Like, I don't know, it's just like adding extra unnecessary steps to features and items that should just be unlocked from the get-go, or they become unlocked as you play through your career, not through these other side quests, which again, like, it doesn't look like it's locked. It looks like it's there to click on, but as soon as you click on it, it's like, oh, sorry, you actually have to go walk around our fictional city to go sit through some cutscenes and do some other stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I just, again, for what is supposed to be a career simulation, it just rubs me the wrong way. It feels like an MMORPG that was poorly designed, and the user interface was poorly put together without much direction at all as to what you do to upgrade your player or to unlock certain items and features. So before you can start your first NBA game, you walk in and you sit down with one of the assistant coaches. You sit through some cutscene, and then they talk about you becoming the GOAT, how you have a lot of hype behind you, and then they pull up what's called these GOAT skills. So this isn't badges that we're used to in previous 2Ks, which, if you are not familiar with badges, the badges are just like boosts to different skills, different attributes. Being able to throw better passes, shoot better, finish above bigger defenders, just all kinds of additional skill boosts and skill upgrades that you don't necessarily get with just increasing your attribute levels. So now they've added this other set of, I mean, honestly, it's sort of like more badges, but they're called GOAT skills. And the way you unlock them is by completing certain challenges or objectives within each game. And right off the bat, you see here the one that they're showing as an example, unrelenting. Requirements: make 4 3-pointers without taking a bad shot. And what does that do? That will boost your 3-point shot, your pass accuracy, your perimeter defense, and your block up to a 99 overall for 4 minutes of game time. I think this is somewhat of a cool concept. Like, oh, as you start heating up, or as you do certain moves or whatever in the game, and being the greatest of all time, naturally as players heat up and do certain things, it kind of builds momentum within them, and then they're able to really just take off with it. But some of these just make no sense. Actually, a lot of these GOAT skills, they make no sense as far as a career simulation. It feels very lazy, and it also feels like 2K is trying to get players to be like, see, this is how good your player would be if you just paid the VC to boost the skills instead of playing hundreds of career games to get there. So again, unrelenting, make 4 3-pointers without taking a bad shot. I would get that this might boost your 3-point shot, as you're getting hot with 3-pointers, then you start make more 3-pointers. But why in the world does making 4 3-pointers increase my perimeter defense to a 99, increase my block to a 99? I'm just not seeing the connection there. Now again, someone in the comments, if you want to tell me why I'm wrong on that or why this makes sense, I want to know why this makes sense, because I'm just not seeing the connection. Again, you could make the somewhat loose connection that making the 3-pointers just builds up the momentum within the player, lights the fire in their eye, and they're like, they're just full of energy, hyped up, and now they're doing everything at 100%. But I just not really seeing that. That's such a loose connection. So you're telling me that because you got amped up from making those threes, that you're now one of the greatest blockers in the league, one of the greatest defenders in the league, one of the greatest passers in the league for making some 3-point shots? And it's a duration of 4 minutes, which, by the way, that stops and starts with the timeouts. So if you go on a timeout after 2 minutes and you come out of the timeout, you still have the duration for 2 more. It just logically, from a career simulation standpoint, we're trying to reenact a NBA career here. I don't feel like I'm living out a career of an NBA player. I just don't. It just doesn't make sense. Another one that really doesn't make sense is one where you have to set 4 screens. If you thought the 4 3-pointers and getting those boosts in makes sense, there's another skill. It's called the little things, and once you set 4 good screens, your pass accuracy goes up to a 92, your ball handle goes up to a 92, your mid-range shot goes up to a 92. Why is my mid-range shot going up to such a high overall from setting screens? You cannot possibly tell me that at some point in real life that a NBA player has set some screens. And keep in mind that my player's current mid-range shot attribute is like in the 60s, and you're telling me that at some point in real life there was a player that just set a few screens and all of a sudden his mid-range was just going off. No. Again, it's just such a no connection at all between the objective and the skills you get on a temporary basis. So again, it lasts for 4 minutes. There's no connection between them. It makes little to no sense logically. And this is supposed to be my simulation of an NBA career mode. It just doesn't add up. Why am I going around aimlessly for no reason at all, setting these screens or taking these 3-point shots just to get these boosts to be able to take more 3-point shots? It doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. I am glad that there is at least some way to have a chance to be somewhat decent early on if you're not paying VC on this game, paying money on VC on this game, and going from a 65 to a 99 the hard way, the very long and tedious way. At least you have some opportunity at some point to be able to have a chance to make some shots over some players. But why is it tied to these goofy objectives? Like, I'm telling you, as a 65 overall player, yeah, of course I'm setting this as one of my GOAT skills. Of course, I'm just going to run around, set some screens that don't really accomplish anything, so I can get my boost, so I can score some points. I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. But like, why is that? Why is that the feature? Why is that? It just, again, when your objectives don't connect or make logical connections to the skill boost you get, I get lost. I don't feel like I feel like I'm doing chore, like I'm doing a chore, like I'm not, I'm not playing a basketball simulation game or a career simulation game. I feel like I'm doing pointless objectives in an MMORPG. So besides all that, everything else in the game, I like it. It feels like NBA 2K. The gameplay is improved. And besides those goofy objectives that come up, everything else is just about what you'd expect. I think it's good. I don't have any issue with it. And I've only gotten through about 3 or 4 games at this point. I know that at some point there's like flashback scenes or challenges for your fictional dad and your fictional dad's dad, where I guess you play through flashback games through their careers, which again, I don't think most people care. Like, we're not here to, like, this doesn't even feel like my career. This feels like 2K's career. That they're the ones that created this, not us. It doesn't feel like an authentic, true NBA career simulation experience. And I've said that a bunch this video, and I'm saying it again. So now let's get to the point of this video. How's this compared to the WNBA mode? Because I've been talking a lot about how the NBA mode starts. I've been complaining about a lot of different features and a lot of different menus and options. And how does this compare to the WNBA? Because that's the whole point of this video, the WNBA career mode being better than the NBA career mode. Well, when you first go in, so you guys select WNBA from the main menu, then you go to the W, that is the MyCareer mode for WNBA, and it opens very similar to the NBA MyCareer mode. You start off, you create your player's face and their physical attributes. You can scan your head in from the 2K app if you want, and then from there you go ahead and select your name. Now for this character, we went ahead and again, this time I couldn't find a lot of long names for the first name. I was just trying to go with the most ridiculous long name that's in the 2K voice library. So this time we just went with Merry Christmas, first and last name. Sticking with the Christmas theme from the MyCareer, where we gave our guy the Santa beard. After selecting the name, you're given these preset build templates, and once again you set the height, the weight, the wingspan, and the position, and it affects the attribute maximum levels that you see on screen. Now what's different here is once you've gone ahead and set all of these biometric, all these attributes, set your height, weight, wingspan, position, and set the maximum attribute levels for all these attributes, there's no setting maximums within the maximum limits. Like, these are your true maximums. It's no BS. It's very straightforward. Whereas on the NBA one, it's just like really tedious, and it feels kind of goofy that you're setting max limits within your max limits. Here, what you see is what you get right off the bat. No BS. You just go straight in. From there, you get to choose your player's background, whereas in the NBA mode, you're stuck with these fictional parents. You're right here, you're thrown in. You can choose to either be a college prospect starting at a 75 overall with increased popularity level, which increases your ability to do certain things within the game. You unlock some certain endorsements and some certain abilities, versus you can start as an 85 overall, being a player that got their career started overseas in Europe, coming back to the U.S. at a higher overall. You've gotten some reps in the pro circuit, and now you're coming back. And instead of your popularity starting at a higher level, your popularity starts at the base level, and then your progression as a player, your skill set starts at a higher level. Now, you might be wondering here, well, progression, skill, whoa, what are you talking about? Because in the NBA mode, your progression is tied to you spending the VC to upgrade the attributes. Well, in the WNBA mode, your progression is tied to your playing the game, which is exactly how it should be. All of the clothes, as far as I have seen so far, are free. The animations, some of them are locked based on your skills and your abilities. Having the attributes to unlock those animations, it doesn't matter. You don't have to pay VC for them. They're free, as they should be. There's no other extra BS here. Very straightforward. You get right down into it, playing out your career in the WNBA. There's none of these like goofy side quests. There are quote unquote quests or other activities you can do, so to speak. I will get into those in a minute. But as far as things being thrown in front of your face that have nothing to do with playing out your career as a professional basketball player, that's not here. It's a side thing, as it should be. It's on the side if you want to do it. There's not a bunch of like animations and other features locked behind this necessarily. You'll unlock them eventually. You don't necessarily have to do all the side quest stuff. And even then, the side quests are very easy to start and finish. You don't have to like walk around this fictional city to get to them. It's just selecting an option on a menu. Very straightforward for anyone that's just looking to play a career mode and not play this goofy MMORPG, which is the NBA MyCareer mode. So like I said, your skills upgrade based on you playing the game. So as you make finishing moves, as you get assists, as you shoot, as you play defense, you will get your stats. You'll get from those stats, your progression level will increase, and at each level, your attributes automatically go up based on your play, based on your skill level. The attributes increase. The badges, there's still the regression and progression system that is in the MyCareer mode. I didn't get a chance to talk about that a whole lot. That, maybe we can go into another video. That system, it is in the WNBA career mode. However, it is much more forgiving, as it should be, because it's unrealistic that, like, let's say Stephen Curry, he has had bad games in his career, believe it or not. I know we've seen all the highlights. He is arguably the greatest shooter of all time, but he's had some bad games. That doesn't mean he loses his Hall of Fame shooting badge down to a bronze at a moment like that. No. So none of that crazy regression is happening here. It's very forgiving, pretty straightforward, and realistic, as it should be. Now the side quests, that's where this mode is lacking, and I'm okay with that because I don't really care for them too much to begin with. You'll get texts, you'll get messages from other WNBA players, sometimes teammates, sometimes not, and they'll challenge you to 1v1s or 3v3s on a park court, and all you do is you select the option to play with them. You get thrown right into the game. There's no walking around the fictional city to get there. It's just right to the point. Now, it's really weird because the court, like the design of the court, it's got like this weird Christmas theme going on. You see like pine trees and a forest kind of looking design on. I don't know what's going on there. Like I said, I don't really care for this mode a whole lot. It's just to boost your popularity stats, which again, it just increases your level there, and that will naturally increase just from playing the game and playing well. And in between games, you also have the option to attend different events, and all that does, you just click the button to choose the event. It'll tell you which different, your increase in fans, your increase in following, your increase in team chemistry. It'll just give you the stats that you got from doing those events. You don't actually have to sit through a cutscene. You don't have to sit through or walk to certain locations on a city. It's just, all right, you chose this option. Here's what increased. Move on. Just like the MyCareer mode from like 10 years ago, which again, I believe is how it should be, unless you're going to make the MMORPG aspect more realistic in the MyCareer mode, then just stick with this, because at least with this, we can just jump straight to our career games. We don't have to deal with all the other stuff, and you can still unlock all of the features and items eventually. Additionally, there's no GOAT skills in this. It's just the standard attributes increasing, badges increasing, and you have the team takeover that you can unlock as well if you're all familiar with that. So it's really just a standard career mode without all the extra BS in it, without anything in your way. You just jump straight into the games. You straight to your career. You don't have to, do any extra steps to get from point A to point B. You can just play the game. And it's also not a money hole. It's not a money pit. You're not throwing in all your added earned VC into buying animations just to try them out. You're not throwing all your VC into increasing the attributes. It's simply, as you play the game, your attributes will eventually go up, and if you play better, your attributes will increase faster. And that's how it should be. There is no pay-to-win aspect here. It's just from playing the game better, you will get better at a faster rate. And this is why, again, I will say, I wish that the NBA MyCareer mode was completely separate from the park and all the online shenanigans, because it is harmed the career mode so much. It has become such a mindless grind if you don't want to spend money on the game. And what makes it challenging too is like, your player is brought up as this, I'm the GOAT, or I have the potential to be the GOAT at a 65 overall. And unless you spend the VC right away to get to 87 overall to start out your MyCareer mode, you're stuck, with whatever it is, like 30 to 40 minutes a game at a 65 overall, and just slowly, playing through these games, working up to it. And it's almost like is designed to make people be like, oh, I have to spend the money. I don't want to play through dozens and dozens of games. Like, realistically, an NBA team should not be playing you that many minutes and putting you in the starting lineup when your skill level is that low. And so if you're going to have the story say that you're the greatest of all time, and you're not playing like like you could be the greatest of all time, it's just, again, lack of connection. The GOAT skills, lack of connection. The WNBA mode, you can choose your path. You can choose to be a hot topic college prospect, or you can choose to have come from overseas and have MVP potential right off the bat. It makes more sense. It follows a career, like a simulated career, better than the NBA mode does. And that's sad to see. And I hope that by me making this video and bringing light to this does not come across 2K's table and then they change it up in the WNBA mode too. Because I swear, if they do anything like that to this WNBA mode, I might be done playing their latest and greatest games. I'm probably just going to go back to playing like NBA 2K11, NBA 2K16. I'm just done. I'd be done at that point. Every year, it feels like they add more and more items and things to throw at your face, to throw you off the path. Like, this game could easily be the best sports simulation game of all time, but then you got things like this where it's just ruining the experience, ruining the fun of simulating a basketball career, and I'm just disappointed. Again, just like I was in the Mamba moments, I'm just disappointed. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I encourage anyone that is playing the NBA MyCareer mode specifically for the offline career to give the WNBA career mode a chance. It's actually quite a bit of fun. Even if you don't really watch the WNBA, I encourage you to try it out. Go ahead and take a look. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.